In this video, I'm going to take you through everything you need to know for AMEB violin first grade. The first thing you need to know is that the scales are at tempo 72 and there are 3 different types of bowing. I'm going to be playing the scales at a little bit slower tempo at 62, just so it's a little bit easier for you to concentrate on the intonation and the bow stroke. The other thing is I'll go straight from detache bowing through to the legato slurs, and then the detache again, quaver bowing. And then I'll follow that with the arpeggio. And the arpeggios are just detache, separate bowing as well, but at the same tempo. The other thing which is a good idea is to play 4th finger when you're playing up the scale, and then using open string when you're going down the scale. This is so that you're used to using your 4th finger, and when that comes along in a piece, you're comfortable with using it. So let's get started. G major. 1, 2, 3, 4. Legato slurs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now detache in the middle to upper half of the bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next scale is G melodic minor. G melodic minor is quite a tricky scale to play because the finger positions change when you're going down the scale from when you're going up the scale. When you're going up the scale, you've got low 2nd finger like this on G string. And then when you continue going up, it's just like a G major scale. Now when you're going down, that's when it gets tricky. So you've got 3, low 2, low 1, open D, and then low 2 again like you had when you were going up. So you have to memorize this pattern and be really comfortable with it, and then also transfer it to A melodic minor, G melodic minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now with legato slurs. 1, 2, 3, 4. and this time with detache bowing in the upper half quavers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the G minor arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turning the page. The next scale we have is A major. So detache bowing, separate bows, A major. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time with legato slurs. 1, 2, 3, 4. A major one more time with detache quavers in the upper half. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the A major arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next scale we have is A melodic minor. So another melodic minor scale where the scale, the fingers positions change on the way down. They're different from going up. So for this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is fairly normal. 2, high 3, and try to play fourth finger. Now on the way down, 3 goes down into the normal position. Now 2 goes down to the low position, and then 1. So on the way down, it's a fairly normal finger position that most first grade students are used to. So let's try A melodic minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time with legato slurs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And with detache bowing quavers. 3, 4. And the A minor arpeggio using fourth finger. 3, 4. The last scale is F major. The finger position for this is all over the place compared to, say, G major or A major, so you really have to practice this one. And you have to become aware of the tone pattern, so the tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. If you think in tones and semitones, then that can be one way to help you memorize the pattern for the scale, and you really need to listen carefully for that pattern when you're playing all major scales, and then again for all melodic minor scales. So let's give it a go. We start on low second finger, and then normal 3. Use fourth finger for A. Now on the A string we have low 1, which is B flat, and then a tone up, which is C, and then D, which is normal, and then E, which is fourth finger on A string, and then low 1 on E string, which is F. And now going down, open E, 3, low 2 for C natural, low 1 for B flat, open A, G and F. If you wanted to learn this scale thinking through the tones and semitones, I can take you through that as well. So the first note F, and then a tone above that is G, and a tone means that there's a space in between those two notes, and there's a space in between your two fingers here. Instead of having the fingers together, they've got a space in between the two. So F to G is a tone, G to A is a tone. Now A to B flat is a semitone, that's why you've got low 1. And then tone above that is C, tone above that is D, tone above that is E, fourth finger on A string. So all the fingers are spaced apart on the A string, and then E to F is a semitone, that's why you've got low first finger on the E string. Okay, and then it's just the opposite going down. So let's give it a go using tempo 62. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time with legato slurs, 3, 4. This time with detache bowing in the upper half using quavers. 3, 4. And the arpeggio for F major. 3, 4. And I'll play that much slower this time for you. 3, 4. So see what works for you learning and memorizing those scales, particularly the melodic minor one and the F major scale. You can use the tone, tone, semitone pattern. That's probably best for major scales. For the melodic minor scales, it's probably best to think of the pattern of the changing fingers, ascending and descending. whatever works for you. Technical exercises in first grade are mostly concerned with the finger positions. So first grade is really a lot about breaking up those positions that you learn in preliminary grade, the first finger and then second and third finger together, and then using open E. In first grade, each finger has a different position. So 1 can go low, 2 can go low or high, and 3 can go in its normal position or high as well. And then using fourth finger on top of that. So each of these exercises, the first 4 I think, they're all to do with the finger positions, and then the last one is about bowing. Exercise 1A is all about moving the fingers into different positions. So in the first line, it's moving it from low second finger to high second finger. And in the second line, you play high third finger, which is new for first grade. You also have to play nice legato bowing, 4 notes to a bow, and also have that control so that you can stop in the middle of the bow while you're playing 2 notes in a slow. I'm going to play this quite slowly, just so you can take the time to get your fingers into the right position for really accurate intonation and nice smooth legato bowing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exercise 1B is about moving the fingers into different positions. This is indicated on the music by the little dash in between the numbers which indicate which finger to play the notes with. Again, I'm going to play this really slowly so that you can practice it very carefully and listen to the intonation. 1, 2, 3. Exercise 1C is about playing what's called an augmented tone or augmented second. So an augmented tone is bigger than a tone. So you've got, say, B flat to C. That's a normal tone. There's one space in between. An augmented tone is when you have to actually stretch the next note up another semitone higher. So it's a really big gap. And in second grade, you'll learn the harmonic minor scale, which has an augmented tone in it. So let's play this one very slowly once again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at the end, you've got a double stop. So what you need to be able to do there is make sure your fourth finger is perfectly in tune with the open E, and make a tunnel with that first finger. So make sure it's not touching the E string. If it is, you'll get a rattling sound or a squeaking sound like that. So that means you need to lift up that first finger and put the finger on the string right on the top right on the top of the finger. So you should be able to do that. And if you're using fourth finger in your scales, then that won't be too much of a hassle to get the fourth finger in tune, because you've been doing that in your scales. Exercise 1D is all about shifting the left hand up so that your hand goes into third position, which is a very common skill that you'll be using in second grade. So this gets you ready for that. When you do shift, it's a good idea. You need to shift during that open string, okay? In the A, here we go, shift up, and then play the same note with first finger. And then shift down in that A string, and then back to normal 3. So when you're playing an A string, open string, you're not doing nothing. You actually have to play the note and shift the hand and think about where that first finger is going to go. Make sure you're hitting it right in tune. It's a good idea to really look at your third finger, and then when you're shifting the hand, try to get first finger exactly where third finger was. Alright, so nice, gentle shifting action is the way to go. Otherwise, if it's tense, you might overshift and it'll be out of tune. So let's give that a go. 1 and 2 and shift the hand in the open A, and now shifting back, shifting up, shifting down, harmonic, Exercise 1E is about playing with the staccato and martelé bowing. Staccato bowing is a very firm bow stroke on the string, and it's got a really clean start and a really clean stop as well, like this. And your right hand has to be firm but not really tense, because when you stop the bow might start playing a little bit again. So like this. You might get that little bit after the note. So if your hand is too tight, too tense, then that you might get that. So if you've got that sound, just loosen up the bow. Just pushing the bow up and down, getting a nice clean sound. This bow stroke, it's using slurs, so you've got 4 on a slur. Now the next one is martelé. Martelé is very similar to staccato, but I like to use a little bit more bow. And the difference with martelé is using a bit more bow, bit more bite at the beginning of the note, but it is released. So a martelé stroke would sound something like this. Whereas the staccato would sound like this. With martelé, you need to press down quite a bit more. The stick of the bow should press down, so I call them push-ups. So start with a push-up, and if you get an awful sound, it's actually quite a good thing to do. Just play a really awful sound like this. That's the beginning of martelé. So what you need to do is start with that, but release straight away, so you only get a little bite right at the beginning like this. So you're releasing the pressure that you've put in the stick as soon as the bow starts moving. So press down and release. Exercise 1E. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all the scales and technical exercises for first grade. I hope it's been helpful and I haven't played it too fast for you. Remember, these are slower tempos, so you do need to work them up to the required tempo if you're doing the exam. If you're not doing the exam, it's still a great idea to work through the technical work. There are a set of benchmarks and a set of skills that are required to play pieces at this grade. So you need to learn all of these techniques anyway. It's good to concentrate on them individually through the scales and technical exercises. If you've got any requests, please get in contact with me, and I guess I'll see you in second grade. Violin Virtuosos with Rodney and Anthea Wickstrom. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for all strings related education videos. Visit our website violinvirtuosos.com.au and like our Violin Virtuosos Facebook page.